Greetings and welcome to the Progressive Christians podcast. We are the love your neighbor kind of Christians and not the storm the Capitol kind. So if you're curious about what a socially and politically progressive Christianity looks like, then this is the podcast for you. My name is Reverend Dr. Christopher Carter and I'm your host. I want to invite you to rate, review, share, and subscribe to our show. Please give us a 5-star rating. I'm gonna say that. Not even gonna lie. If you want to give us less than 5, you don't need to rate us. It's
Yeah, what are you
fine,
doing
but
here?
The
yeah,
best
but
Christmas present you could give us
exactly.
is a review and a comment, but only
Yeah.
5 stars. Otherwise, it's
only
coal
good
in the
ones.
stocking.
Coal, we say coal.
Treat it like an Uber or like it's a 5 stars unless they absolutely did something absolutely terrible. So give us 5 stars, please.
That is so true about Uber. I'm like, I got to where I was going.
Five.
I'm like 5. I'm like, it's I'm like, unless it was like
5.
absolutely wild, where I'm like, this person should not be driving. But I'm like, it's 5. In today's episode, we are not talking about Uber drivers. Actually, we are talking about our favorite Christmas traditions. We're doing a little mini-sode to just have a little bit of fun. There's so many things happening in the world right now that aren't necessarily fun, but this is the time of year we want to honestly just set aside some time to enjoy each other's company, to really settle in to what it means to be in community, to be around people whom we love, and to celebrate the holidays together. And this is, I guess, to not get too sermonic, but when I think about Christmas, a big part of it is to celebrate the inbreaking of God, on earth. Like this, literally love dwells among us. And that is beautiful. And, I did not know that I would like babies as much as I did until I had one, until Gabby had one. And so now when I see it, and I think I did, 'cause I grew up because I had to take care. I'm the oldest.
Babies are
I had been,
hard.
but like when Isaiah was little, he had so much stuff. It was like, oh, it was fun and I liked it. But then when he wasn't a baby anymore, and when I see other people with babies or my cousins had babies, I was like, oh my gosh, I love babies. Like it was like I was like, this is crazy. So when I think about that idea of a baby and that being a manifestation of God's love, to me, it's just like this double whammy of something that does something to my heart. So we're just gonna go around and share a little bit of our favorite Christmas traditions. And so Wesley, I want to start with you. I know you had mentioned before that your family didn't really celebrate Christmas as such, but you're an adult now.
I am.
And so
Absolutely an adult.
Mostly an adult. Mostly an adult. So what is your favorite Christmas tradition now?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been in Los Angeles for about like 11 years. And for those that don't live in Los Angeles, like everything you hear about Los Angeles' traffic is true. Like it is just always horrendous. And you learn the traffic patterns, so you learn to deal with it and it gets easier and you sort of understand things. Like you don't take the 405 on Thanksgiving weekend, or there's just things you don't do because they're going to be crazy. But one of my favorite things, and I will call it a Christmas tradition because it happens around Christmas time. And so if we can say, what's that action movie that people say is Christmas, but I don't think it is.
Die Hard.
Die Hard. So if people can claim Die Hard as a Christmas movie, then I will claim what I do during the Christmas time as a Christmas tradition. So I like staying in Los Angeles during the Christmas time because it is quite literally magical. Like, I don't know how many people leave, but like the roads are empty. You can get anywhere in literally 10 to 15 minutes. Like you go to places and it's calm and it's chill and you understand like what you're reminded of the beauty. I'm reminded of the beauty of Los Angeles, and sort of like maybe what it was 30 years ago when there weren't this many cars on the road. And I find it just like absolutely magical and inspiring and sort of like resetting and refreshing for the new year. But my favorite Christmas tradition is just like explore Los Angeles, knowing that I'm going to be like one of a handful of people roaming the city during the Christmas time. I mean, it's when I first got to Los Angeles, I had a car, and only in the last couple of years did I get rid of it. So it has sort of changed a little bit. Like the buses are quieter, the subway is quieter, things are just so much more calm, and I love it. So that's my favorite Christmas tradition.
That's amazing. And you're so right, actually, in terms of just going into town, going into LA, because, I live in West LA, and, Gabby and I would go to, there's a few spots we would go to, the library, or near the library, that we would go park around there and walk around. And it's just like, we did this with Isaiah and a stroller a couple of years ago, and you're just like, this is so peaceful. And I
Ah,
actually made the mistake of actually getting on the 405 on Thanksgiving one time, and I made it one time. I didn't know. I know Julia's face, if y'all can see it. I mean, I was
oh,
like, I didn't know, and I was like, it was a disaster. And I was like, oh no, you just don't do this on this day.
I
Okay,
have
so I learned.
anxiety thinking
it's a
about it
parking lot.
Yeah, it was
for
brutal.
miles.
Yeah,
Mhm.
not great, not great.
Okay.
Julia,
Yes,
what is
hello.
your Christmas tradition?
My family and I used to travel at Christmas because my parents still live in Wisconsin and it's cold there and they hate it. So we would always go somewhere tropical or like go on a cruise or something. And then the pandemic happened and we haven't really done that since. And so now I kind of stick close to home and I have a new tradition, and that is my dear friend and I go and I get a real tree every year, like a giant, like 8-foot tree. And so usually the week before or around Thanksgiving, Nick and I go to a Christmas tree lot and we tie the tree to my car and we bring it home and we put on Home Alone and we order takeout and we put on all the lights. And then I have a beautiful Christmas tree. I love it. And then my other favorite part of that is that after Epiphany, Joshua comes with his big gloves and takes it outside.
And takes it out. You know, we
Good
actually
on you for keeping it through Epiphany, because Christmas lasts for 12 days.
Thank
All
you.
the way to Epiphany.
Thank
Stretch
you.
it out. The 12 days of Christmas is not the 12 days before, my friends. All those gifts were arriving between
After.
Christmas and Epiphany.
She's
And
right.
there's far too many birds in that song, but that's
There
again
are
So many
another
far too many
birds
birds.
and then
conversation for another
jewelry.
day.
So many birds.
And
Yeah.
jewelry. Yeah.
Never too much jewelry, but
Never
definitely
too
too
much.
many birds.
Not enough jewelry in that song, in fact. In my opinion.
We are taking Isaiah to see Home Alone. It's like a symphony where orchestra
Where
is
the
playing the
orchestra
music.
plays, you're going to
That's
the
so
Walt
cool.
Disney. It's so fun. You're
Yeah.
gonna have so much
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a good time. That's gonna be a good time. We love that movie. Both of them are like amazing. Actually, the first and second ones are like, and it's so crazy because it's so like, now looking at it as an adult, you have all these questions about like, okay, what did the parents do for like, how do they afford all this stuff? How did this happen? Whatever. But anyway, it's still like silly and funny, and it's Christmas, and so that's a big part of it. So Julia, that sounds beautiful. Blair, what do y'all do? Like, what's a tradition?
Well, when I tell you the story of my favorite Christmas tradition as a child, none of you will be surprised that I became a pastor. But I always call myself a PPK, a practically pastor's kid, because my parents, neither of them are pastors, but my dad is a certified lay speaker. He's like gone to school to know how to preach, and my mom lives at the church, and they planted a church, like made a church, brought people together, and then had to like petition to have someone send them a pastor. So like, I'm not a PK, but I might as well be a PK. So leading into Christmas, there was no time for Christmas traditions. We did Christmas after Christmas because my parents were like making Christmas magic happen at the church for everyone else. But the one little piece is that we did not put the baby Jesus in our nativity scene until after the midnight Christmas Eve service, because it was not Christmas until Christmas Day. And so we did not rush Advent. We took our time, and Jesus arrives on Christmas Day, but it was always a battle to get home from the Christmas Eve service, and then I would fight with my brothers about who would get to put the baby Jesus in the manger. And so I do that with my kids now too. And they don't fight because only one of them knows what's going on. But we like have this little play school Fisher Price manger scene, and I let them play with it all Advent season, but I don't let them have baby Jesus until Christmas Day. And then we get baby Jesus out on Christmas Day. And one of my favorite things that I've added to that as a mom is instead of Elf on the Shelf, because we don't really do Santa Claus in our house, which is probably, again, a conversation for another day. But instead of Elf on the Shelf, we pick up from Be a Heart is a Catholic online gift shop, and they have Mary on the Mantle. And so you place Mary around your house as she's journeying to Bethlehem. So I also move Mary and Joseph around the house and hide them. So it's like they're journeying around the house as they get closer and closer to the nativity. And then when they get to the nativity, and then on Christmas Eve, and then the next day, the kids get to get baby Jesus out. So that's my very nerdy pastoral tradition.
I love Mary on the Mantle. I
Mary on the
absolutely love it.
mantle.
I'm like,
Wow.
that is awesome. I do
We will
not
put the
like
link in the show notes in case you want
Yeah.
Mary on the Mantle for next year.
I am also, I do want to spend a couple minutes on this. You are the first white person I've met who says they don't like do Santa Claus. Unless the only other people I know that don't do Santa Claus are people from Wesley's tradition, right? The like people of your tradition didn't do Santa Claus because they don't do Christmas really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, because this is definitely a perpetual argument with, well, not even an argument, because I just let it happen. I'm like, whatever, it matters to my wife. It does not. We didn't grow up with Santa Claus. We were just like, because my parents are like, you ain't having this idea of some white dude coming in the house bringing like all whatever y'all gets from us. Like it wasn't even. I didn't even really pretended to believe in Santa Claus, and so it's interesting. And I agree with it on so many levels, but I did want to just give you I'm not gonna push back on that. I absolutely love it. So hey.
Well, the reason we talk about Santa Claus as Santa is a really wonderful character, and the story of Santa, we can engage with it the same way we engage like with Mickey Mouse or
Yeah.
like other characters. Like Santa is a character, but Santa doesn't bring presents to our house. And there's two reasons I do that. If I'm going to ask my children to believe in stories that I cannot prove to them, there's only one. I only want to talk about God in that way, right? So I'm not going to lie and say there's like mythical creatures because that's confusing. I feel like to small children, but also the inequality aspect, right? That like rich kids, Santa
Yep.
brings them what they want, and
Yeah.
poor kids, Santa brings them something random if Santa comes at all. And so we just talk about it as Santa is like a real story based on a real person, and Santa is just for fun. He doesn't really come into our house. And if other kids, if they have the story in their house that Santa comes to their house, that's fine for their house. But we just have a different story in our house, and we can read stories and we can sing songs and we can look at pictures and we can even go meet Santa Claus, but Santa is only as real as Mickey Mouse. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like how we're managing that.
I think that's great.
I feel like we need to put a disclaimer at the top of this episode saying if you're
Yeah,
listening
maybe
with
don't-
kids,
I was just
If
gonna
you're listening
say.
with kids, we do talk about.
I mean, I don't think too many people listen to this podcast with kids in the car, man. I mean, especially as much as we. I doubt
We'll
it. I
let them
doubt it.
know. We'll let them know. We'll still let them know as a courtesy. We're not
Just in
trying to
case,
kill
just in
anybody's
case.
magic.
But
This
also,
season.
you have permission. Like you don't have to do Santa. And also,
Yeah.
like you said, like moms are overwhelmingly the ones who make Christmas magic happen. So like, no, you did not get those presents from Santa. Like, mom, put your tree up. Like,
claim it.
dad ate those
Absolutely.
cookies. Like, we're gonna put credit where credit is due.
That's exactly what happens in our house. I put the tree up. Gabby decorates it. I do it, but I'm not. I can't. I try to wrap. Like I will wrap. She'll be like, "I'll wrap these presents." I'll wrap them, and then she just will be like, "Why'd you wrap them like that?" I'm like, "Cause that's how I wrap, man. Like it's enclosed in
The
paper."
fun is taking the paper off anyway.
Yeah, I know, but like it's not that stuff. It does. Oh God, it just
It's
is.
enclosed in paper.
It is. It's wrapped. It's in paper. I'm like, it's in paper. That's what it is, man. It's enclosed in paper. It doesn't matter. He's gonna tear it apart. Oh man. Yeah. Anyway,
So what's your favorite Christmas tradition, Dr. Carter? Let's pivot.
in
Not
some
wrapping
ways.
presents, obviously.
Yeah.
That's not your favorite
Oh
part.
God, no. It is not also putting together presents on Christmas Eve in the middle of the night after I get back from doing a midnight service. I'm up like to 3 a.m.
Oh,
but
wow.
you know,
I
because
didn't
I
even
can't do it
think
until
about that.
yeah. Yeah.
And think about this too. Lady pastors who are moms are having to make Christmas happen magic in their house and somehow make all the Christmas magic happen at their church.
That's
So
Yeah.
shout
so
out to lady
crazy.
pastor moms for getting it all
Yeah.
done.
100%, because it is
Shout out.
definitely not. It's a lot of work. And
Mhm.
and I think this is what's so funny when Blair is saying, like, you're like, oh, I tell you the story, you're gonna know that I was gonna go be a pastor. And like in hindsight, I think all of us probably have that are clergy. Where like I look back to the things that because we were just at church all the time, and I loved going to church. like I was a kid in adult Sunday school because I outgrew kid Sunday school by the time I was like 12. I was like, I need more robust theological conversation. That's what I was looking for.
I also did that. Yes. As soon
Yeah,
as I was confirmed, I started going to adult Sunday
yeah.
school.
I was like, I want to go to, yeah. And like, again, like it makes sense. And so for me growing up, the tradition was just, it was just, we went to church, and I loved going to church. I loved going to church for Christmas Eve service. I loved going to church for we didn't have a pageant. We had a concert. And that's back when I could actually sing pretty decently. And so I always participate in that. It was just fun. And so for me, Christmas was always more about church and about Jesus than it was about presents. And I think in part because we were really poor and we only got a couple of presents, it couldn't be about presents. And I feel like that helped me cultivate an attitude of gratefulness, and the importance of spending time with God and with family. And again, like things that are meaningful to me now in ways in which I didn't appreciate when I was a child. But y'all know I grew up in Michigan, so Christmas is always, broadly speaking, cold. And so coming to California, I grew to understand that Christmas isn't tied to the seasons as much. You can just, Christmas is a time, and that time depends on where you live in the world. It's a different climactic experience. And so now what Gabrielle and I do, and now the three of us, we go to Starbucks on the way to the beach. We stop and Isaiah gets a chocolate milk. Gabby and I get our random, and that's the only time I let myself get like one of those crazy sugar infused holiday coffees that got like, I don't even know how many, like, I'm like, I should not.
Gingerbread, pink
Yeah.
sugar cookie, peppermint, candy cane.
Peppermint.
I'm like, what kind of, normally I just go in and be like, what do you want? Like, I get a, what's their regular coffee? It's like a Pike's Place. I get a regular Pike's Place with some almond milk. And like, that's literally like, I need straight coffee. So I get something fancy because it's a fancy day. It's Jesus' birthday. So we're getting a fancy coffee to celebrate Jesus. And we go to the beach, and we take a picture, and then I send it to my family in the family chat because they're all somewhere cold and I'm not. And I find it humorous and I love doing it. And they know it's coming every year. They know it's coming every year. And I'm like, yep, it's just for you to know we live here. You still live there. You could too live here, but I actually don't really want you to. So let's just keep it the way it is.
The rest of us are dying laughing right now, but we're all muted.
Incredible.
But like our faces right now are exploding with laughter.
Oh man, hey man, it's trying to keep it real, letting people a little bit on the inside, letting people on the inside. But I think for me, ultimately, Christmas has come to be about, as I've gotten older, is time where I'm not working, and I can spend time with people that I love. Time where I don't have to engage in the hustle of capitalism and just be like, I'm going to hang out and slow down and hang out with people that I really love. And this year, the same thing, especially going to be able to do that. So many things have been happening in my life that all of y'all have made easier for me. And so very much y'all have been various degrees of Christmas presents for me this year. So I'm definitely grateful for that. And yeah, life comes at you fast when you get in your mid-40s, man. Stuff start happening with your body, and you're like, oh, what's happening? So, you got to have folks that can be here to support you. And I'm fortunate to have that. So yeah, that's what Christmas means to me: spending time with people that I absolutely love, and going to the beach and sending pictures of my family to make fun of the fact they live someplace cold. Meh.
And also a note to our listeners: please leave your pastor alone between Christmas and the first Sunday of the new year. Because a lot of us don't get on an airplane to go see our family until Christmas Day. And the number of times I flown on Christmas Day so that I could go be with my people. Like, if someone is dying, call us.
Yep.
But
That's what I was gonna
otherwise,
say.
please. And your musicians and anybody who's making Christmas magic happen, let them breathe between Christmas and the new year. That is a beautiful gift to us, people who make church happen.
We'll be there the next Sunday. Like, I will be there on the 29th. I promise.
Yeah.
There will be beautiful music on the 29th.
I don't know how many people are going to be there, but we'll be there. So
we will be there, holding it down.
We will be there. It'll be a light service. Well, thank you all for listening, and again, Merry Christmas to all of you. We hope your Christmas was merry, because by the time you get this one, it'll be after Christmas, and that you're able
to celebrate all 12 days. Don't take your tree down yet.
Don't take your tree down yet.
Stretch it to
Celebrate
Epiphany.
I know we need to have a episode on like liturgical year, because some people are like, what are these people talking about? Like, but these days actually matter to some people. So thank you all for joining us for the Progressive Christians podcast. If you would like to connect with us and be a part of the conversation, you could find us on Instagram at The Progressive Christians, or on TikTok at The Progressive Christians as well. Again, if you like the show, please rate, review, share, and subscribe to us on whatever podcast platform you're using. Thanks for listening. Merry Christmas, and we will see y'all next time. Bye.
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 Bye.